It's 2021 and this bullshit is still going on. What's going on, everybody? It is the one and only Q here from Retro Q Gaming. And, well, oh shit. Here we go again. Here we are at the very start of 2021 and we already have some bad news. And I'm not talking the bad news that broke 1 or 2 days into the year where we all had very, very scary thoughts about Dr. Dre because he was admitted for a brain aneurysm. No, luckily he's okay, but we're not talking about that. Just 2 weeks later and we're already back on that same old Timmy 10 cent bullshit. What are we talking about this time? Well, thanks to Epic and how their bullshit works, and in this case, they're not the only ones to blame, but IO Interactive at the same time. They have some more bullshit going on. This time, it's all related to Hitman 3. And the big controversy this time, and the one that screws over existing players, well, let's break it down, shall we? So, in August of 2020, IO Interactive, the studio behind Hitman 3, they said that pre-order players, as well as just players down the line, will be able to import their progress from Hitman 2, as well as have all the locations available from Hitman 1 and 2 for existing owners at no extra cost. And I quote, "We want to make it a seamless process for our PC players to enjoy Hitman 3 on a different PC platform and continue to enjoy the benefits of our world of assassination." So that whole different PC platform was pretty much a given that it was going Epic timed exclusive, like all the toxic studio ever does these days. But anyway, the whole idea and the whole promise and premise and principle was that if you owned Hitman 1 or Hitman 2, I guess not the real Hitman 1 and 2, because those ones are years old and they're not the ones we're talking about. We're talking about the reboot ones from the last, I think it's 5 or 6 years, those ones. But basically, if you own those games on the same store, you have access to all the original levels, all the original missions and whatnot in Hitman 3. And it would come at no extra cost. Now, fast forward a couple of months from August 2020 all the way up to the 15th of January 2021, and it looks like that plan is completely fucked and gone out the window. Because if you were listening specifically to the wording that I used when I was talking about it a minute ago, they said that this extra bonus that was allowing people to carry over Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 levels, locations, and missions were for previous owners on the same store. Now, here's where that's a problem. Hitman 1 is on the Epic Game Store. Hitman 2 is not. So if you buy Hitman 3 on the Epic Game Store, you do not get free access to Hitman 2 and its levels, locations, and missions because you probably own it on Steam, like a logical, sensible person. Now here's where this gets extra messy and extra fucked up, if you will. So, Hitman 1 is on the Epic Game Store. You could have bought it a long time ago, or if you buy Hitman 3 within 10 days of launch, you get Hitman 1 for free. But regardless, Hitman 2 is not on the store at all, so there's no way to avail of that. There is, however, something completely going against it, which is they are offering Hitman 2 Access Pack. It's basically a DLC to Hitman 3. Now, the catch here is no matter how many times, how many places, how many platforms that you own Hitman 2 on Epic Games, because Hitman 2 is not on there, the Hitman 2 Access Pass DLC for Hitman 3 is paid DLC. No free upgrade or no free moving forward and importing like they promised. And this all just goes to show one big thing. It just goes to show how fucked Epic Games are and how much they are completely destroying PC gaming, the openness of PC gaming. They are making game developers, game publishers, creators, whatever it is, they're making them fuck over their players and break promises to their players. All for that sweet, sweet Chinese money. It's absolute bullshit. Now, I will say this extra little bit in here because someone's going to point this out, so I'm just going to put it in there just for the sake of it. IO Interactive have acknowledged that this is not how it was originally planned, and they're not too happy about it. And what they're doing is, for the first 14 days of Hitman 3's launch, they're going to be offering 80% off this DLC pack. However, it still shouldn't even be that. It's 80% off something you should not have to buy because of their initial original promises. After all, you've already probably spent, let's just for argument's sake, you paid full price at launch, €60 on Hitman 2, and now you're getting fucked over because of Epic? Oh, and even though they're giving 80% off the Access Pass, they haven't listed what price it is by default or with 80% off yet. So, IO Interactive are not without blame in this, because at the end of the day, they decided to take that money. Fuck Epic, fuck Timmy Tencent, fuck Hitman, fuck what they're doing for gaming. One of the companies that helped create and found PC gaming and make it what it is today is now fundamentally trying to dismantle it because they're a bit of salty, whiny bitches who can't stand being in second place and losing to Lord Gaben and Steam. No one wants to use your piece of shit store. That's why no one is using your piece of shit store. Roughly 2 years after your first high-profile, exclusive, timed exclusive fuck-up, you've basically added nothing to the store to make it a better store. All your promises, all your promised additions, all this extra stuff, the roadmaps, it's all still falling apart and a piece of shit store. It's not gonna happen, Epic. Give it the fuck up. All you're doing is ruining your own name, and you're turning people against developers, and you're turning developers against people. At this point, I still have a little bit of hope, however, that come April of 2021, when the timed exclusivity deal runs out for Final Fantasy VII Remake, I still have a little bit of hope that Square Enix will not put it exclusively on the Epic Games Store. I know they would have incentive to do so because it uses the Unreal Engine, and they would waive all licensing fees if they did put it on there as a timed exclusive. But of course, Epic will probably throw a shitload of money. But hey, I don't think there's any Square Enix timed exclusive on the Epic Games Store yet so far. And hell, all the games that they have put out recently have still come to either just Steam or Steam and Epic. So, fuck Epic.